Your calendar is full. Your phone never stops. Even lunch has become something you finish while answering messages. So you reach for a solution, a new app, a better system, one more list to manage. And somehow, you fall further behind. The harder you try to get on top of it all, the more there is to manage. The effort itself becomes one more thing on the pile. Here is what we have forgotten. Modern life answers feeling overwhelmed with more. Another app, another habit, another push. Chinese wellness answers it the opposite way, by removing what keeps you rushed. More was never the answer to too much. You don't find a slower life. You build one. By taking things away, one small ritual at a time. For centuries, that was the whole craft of living well. Not grand changes, quiet daily habits. Today, 8 of them. Nothing here requires an app or a complete life overhaul. Don't try to remember all 8. Just watch for the one that sounds easiest. That is the one to start with. And the 8th is the hardest. The one that holds all the others together. We'll get there. Start with the most ordinary moment of your day and how divided it has become. You eat and scroll. You walk and text. You talk while checking a screen. It feels efficient. It isn't. A mind split 5 ways never truly rests in any of them, and never fully finishes any of them either. There is a Chinese expression for the opposite. Yexia yi. It means giving yourself completely to one thing and letting everything else wait. So do one thing and only that. 1 cup of tea and nothing else. 1 bowl of food with no screen beside it. 1 short walk with the phone left behind. It sounds too small to matter. That feeling is the habit working. We have trained ourselves to believe that 2 things at once is twice as much living. Usually it is half of each, and the quiet sense of having done neither. A single task done fully is a kind of rest we have forgotten. The next time you make a cup of tea, drink only that. No phone in your hand, no screen in the corner of your eye. Just the tea, from first sip to last. The second ritual is about the first 10 minutes after you wake. Picture how they usually go. The alarm, the reach for the phone, the rush to catch up before the day has even begun. You are already behind, and your feet have barely touched the floor. Now the other way. In many Chinese parks, at dawn, you'll still see people moving through Tai Chi, slowly, almost impossibly slowly. The word at the heart of it is man. Simply, slowness. We treat slow as a flaw to correct. There it is a skill worth keeping. You don't need the park or the Tai Chi, only the first 10 minutes. When you wake, move through them at half your normal speed. Rise slowly. Wash slowly. Make your tea without hurrying. Let your body wake before the day's demands reach it. Begin the morning in a rush, and the rush tends to follow you until night. Begin it slowly, and something in you stays unhurried, even when the day speeds up around you. Tomorrow morning, slow those first 10 minutes down. Let the day start at the speed of a person, not a machine. The third ritual is the one you may feel working the very first night. There is a saying in China, passed down for generations, Fan Ho Bai Bu Zu. Huo Dao Ju Shi Ju, walk 100 steps after a meal, and live to 99. You don't have to believe the number to feel the sense in it. After eating, most of us do the exact opposite. We sit. We sink into the couch or the chair, and stay there for hours. The body has just been handed work to do, and we ask it to do that work sitting perfectly still. The heaviness you feel an hour later often starts right there. The ritual is simple. After a meal, don't sit. Walk, slowly, gently, with nowhere to be. 100 steps is enough. Barely a few minutes around the room or down the street. Keep it slow. This is not exercise, and not a race. It is easy movement that helps a heavy meal settle, instead of letting the body drop straight into stillness. Many people find the evening feels lighter for it, less sluggish, less stuck to the chair. The after-meal walk remains a familiar daily habit in many Chinese communities. After your next meal, stay on your feet. Take a slow, short walk, 100 unhurried steps, nothing more. The fourth ritual may feel irritating before it ever feels peaceful. It asks you to do nothing on purpose. Not scrolling, not resting in front of a screen. Just sitting, with nothing happening at all. For most of us, the last time we did that is hard to even recall. The day has no gaps left in it. Every empty minute gets filled the moment it appears. So build one gap back in. Once a day, make a small, still point. Pour a cup of tea, or simply sit down in a chair. Then do nothing else for 5 minutes. No phone, no task, no plan. 5 minutes is short enough that you can always find it, and long enough that the mind finally stops bracing for the next thing. In many Chinese homes, sitting quietly with tea was never wasted time. It was a pause the day was built around, a moment to let the dust settle before moving again. It will feel uncomfortable at first. The mind will beg for a task. Let it fidget. That restlessness is exactly the thing the ritual is loosening. Think of it as a comma in a long sentence. Without one, the words run on until they lose all meaning. For 5 minutes today, do nothing at all. Sit. Breathe. Then begin again, a little slower than before. Stop for a moment and picture a familiar evening. It is 7:10. Dinner is finished, but the television is on, the phone is in one hand, and tomorrow's list is already forming in your head. Nothing is wrong, yet the day still has not let you go. That is the part the first 4 rituals cannot reach. They slow the body. But a calm body won't make a simpler life if your home, your schedule, and your expectations stay crowded. The next 4 are about clearing that. The space around you, the list in front of you, and the quiet demand that you always do more. Chinese painters leave part of the page deliberately empty. They call it liu bai, leaving white. The empty space isn't missing anything. It is what lets the rest of the painting breathe. This ritual changes what your eyes keep asking your mind to process. Look around most rooms, and every surface holds something. Papers, chargers, cups, clutter. None of it is loud. But the eye keeps scanning it, and a crowded room, like a crowded schedule, quietly tires the mind that has to take it all in. So, give one space some liu bai. Choose a single surface, a table, a counter, a shelf. Clear it completely and keep it clear, not tidied into a neater pile, empty. One surface the eye can land on without a single thing asking to be dealt with. The goal is not to own almost nothing. It is to give your eyes one place where nothing is asking for attention. One calm patch in a day full of things pulling at you. Most people feel it before they can explain it. They look at that empty space, and something in them settles. Tonight, pick one surface and clear it. Then leave it empty, the quietest spot in your home. The 6th ritual is the one most people get backwards. Look at a typical to-do list. It holds everything. The one thing that matters buried under a dozen that don't. So we run all day, finish plenty, and still feel behind. In Chinese thought, there is an idea called wu wei, often read as effortless action. Not doing nothing. Doing the right thing, without forcing, and leaving the rest alone. Most advice tells you to get more done. This ritual asks the opposite. Choose the one task that truly matters. And then choose one task you will deliberately not do, not postpone, not feel guilty about. Simply decide it is not worth your day and let it go. It might be the email that doesn't need answering today, the errand that can wait a week, the small chore no one will notice. We treat every task as equally urgent, And that is the trap. A day has room for one thing done with care, or 10 done in a hurry. Rarely both. The world rarely ends when those slip. And the one thing you chose, done well, will outweigh the 10 you released. When you write tomorrow's list, mark the one thing that matters most. And cross off one thing you are giving yourself permission to skip. The 7th ritual looks like table manners. Its real target is the speed that runs the rest of your day. Watch how a meal usually goes. The next bite is loaded before the last one is swallowed. The plate is empty before you have tasted it. We eat the way we do everything else, fast and half-aware. This ritual changes only the pace, not what is on the plate, just the speed you bring to it. Notice how rarely you taste the middle of a meal. The first bite registers, and the last, everything between vanishes while the mind is somewhere else. So slow the meal down. Set your chopsticks or your fork down between bites. Taste one mouthful before reaching for the next. Sit, if you can, with no screen in front of you. A meal eaten slowly feels like a real pause in the day. A meal rushed barely registers at all. You finish it, and a moment later can hardly recall that you ate. Slow it down, and the simplest food becomes something you actually notice. At your next meal, set the phone aside. Put your utensils down between bites. Eat slowly enough to truly taste it. And here is the 8th, the one that holds the other 7 together. Here is the uncomfortable truth beneath it. Most people never decide when to stop. They run until they collapse, then rise and run again. There is a phrase in China, "Zhachu Chang Le." The one who knows what is enough is always content. It is the quiet art of stopping at good enough instead of always chasing more. This is the rush underneath all the others, the feeling that you, your home, your day, are somehow not yet enough. So you add and hurry and never quite arrive. There is no amount of finish that finally feels like enough, because enough was never a finish line. It is a decision you make. A simpler life begins the moment you let today be enough. So make it real, not just a thought. Tonight, end the day with 3 small things still unfinished. Don't rescue the list. Look at what is undone. Say it plainly. Today was enough, and close the day anyway. That is not giving up. It is setting down a weight you were never meant to carry. So that is the slower life. Not one grand change, but 8 small subtractions. Do one thing at a time. Slow the first 10 minutes. Walk after meals. Build one quiet gap. Leave one space empty. Choose what deserves your effort. Slow the meal down. And let enough be enough. Don't try all 8 at once. That is just one more thing to rush. Choose the easiest one. Live with it for a week until it feels like yours. Then, if you like, add another. This is what Chinese wellness has always understood. A calm life is not won in a single day. It is built, gently, from small choices to slow down and to want less. So tell us in the comments. In your family, was there a rule about slowing down? A Sunday no one worked? A meal no one rushed? An hour no one was allowed to fill? Tell us the rule and the country it came from. Next time, we look at why the body stays tense even on a quiet day, and the Chinese rituals that switch that tension off. You were never meant to race through your one life. You were meant to live it.